Yeah, Trump is gonna get another term more than likely. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I embarrass myself again like I did in that Joe Biden rant back in 2020 when I said that Biden would definitely lose against Trump. But holy shit! How do you watch that debate from last night or the other night by the time you're watching this, who gives a fuck, and come out with any glimmer of hope when it comes to Biden's chances of winning in November? Like the most tippy-top concern for your average, not very politically informed voter in this country in regards to Biden is his age and his mental capacity. And he completely blew it when it comes to proving that he can serve another 4 years. If the debate last night proved anything, it's that he's not even gonna be alive come 4 years from now. Is this really the best the DNC can do? A fucking feeble old man who can barely finish a goddamn sentence, who doesn't even know where the fuck he is, holding the reins for the highest office in this country. We could have had better. We had two chances at having a Bernie Sanders presidency, and the DNC was like, nah, let's go with Hillary goddamn Clinton, the only person in this country so fucking unlikable that they could even fucking lose to Trump. And then in 2020, here's Joe Biden, who even back then was showing cognitive decline. Biden was already a slow, barely coherent old man 4 years ago, and look at the fucking degradation 4 years later. His brain is fucking mush, he can't handle the fucking job. At this point, I will take anyone over this old decrepit man. Give me the most milquetoast corporate dem politician in this country, and I'll still take them over Joe Biden. They may be shit in every other regard, but at least they would be able to get through a goddamn sentence without their brain malfunctioning like Biden. I'm being half facetious. I just really wish we could do better in this country. I mean, if by some grace of God Biden is still alive in 2028, he'll be 86. Imagine his mental state by then if his brain is already just fucking pudding now. And what's even more frustrating in that debate was Trump was fucking horrible too. He was going through his usual talking points about how he really won the 2020 election, how the January 6 rioters did nothing wrong. I didn't say the Charlottesville protesters were fine people, even though you literally said that on fucking video. Trump's lies last night were as transparent as a ghost, and not to mention him talking about how he was against Roe v. Wade, being anti-abortion is a massively unpopular position in this country. If he were up against any normal, sound-minded person, that would probably be a wrap for his campaign. Not to mention, of course, his convicted felon status. But luckily for Trump, he's up against someone who can form a cohesive sentence to save his goddamn life because he's too fucking old and feeble-minded. As an aside, it really does speak volumes to how weak Trump is in reality. In 2016, he won because he was up against someone who somehow managed to be even more hateable than him. And this time around, he's most likely gonna win because his opponent doesn't even know where the fuck he is, more than likely. And if, or let's face the most likely reality, when Trump wins in November, I don't want to fucking hear any establishment dem liberal blaming people like the Palestinian protesters or young people being so fucking disenfranchised that they'll just sit home on election day. No, you, DNC, you're the ones to fucking blame for always putting forth these shit candidates that no one fucking likes, who has nothing to bring to the table besides, I'm not the other guy on the other side of the aisle. Because real talk, what is the appeal for Biden? Maybe in 2020 you could have made the argument that he has this fun grandpa charm. I personally never fell for that fucking shit, but a lot of other people did. Now it's just depressing. He doesn't give off the fun grandpa vibes anymore. He gives off the vibes of grandpa entering his final stages of dementia, who is on top of that happily arming and funding a genocide and giving the big middle finger to young voters, one of the key demographics he needs to win in November, for opposing his said arming and funding of a genocide. And then you have the guy on the other side of the political aisle who on any other normal election cycle would have been fucking buried with his several fucking scandals, his legal troubles, and most of what he was doing last night was avoiding questions, and one of the very few times he did actually answer a question, it was in regards to him being mentally fit to take up another 4 years in the White House, and he said, yes, I am mentally fit for the job because I play golf. Like, what? All of these things combined would have sunk him if he was against any other fucking candidate, but instead he's up against feeble-minded Joe, who in response said, you know what, I can play golf too, how about we do a 1v1, like, Oh my fucking god, this country is so fucked. I would say the DNC deserves the humiliation they're almost certainly going to get in November, but that also means we all also go down with the ship. But again, if that happens, I 1000% blame the DNC. I don't blame the voters one bit for feeling disenfranchised, especially after that fucking debate the other night. And what's frustrating is I can't conjure up a better scenario. A lot of people are saying Joe Biden needs to drop out ASAP and the DNC needs to announce a new candidate during the convention. And while yes, I personally would be more than happy to take literally anyone else at this point, but at the same time, what does that say about the party? The guy they propped up until almost the very last fucking second, just a few months before the election, they had to bag and replace with a new person. Trump, his base, and the GOP alike would absolutely use that to their advantage. They would point to that and say, see how weak and desperate the DNC is? They had zero faith in their guy. Meanwhile, Trump is still here, and we're hitching our wagon with him. But again, I can't think of a better scenario aside from just sticking with Biden and just hoping and praying for the best. I suppose the actual best case scenario would be both Trump and Biden dying of a stroke or a heart attack or whatever the fuck before November, but since that's probably not gonna happen, we just have to face the nightmare reality we currently live in. Get me the fuck off this planet. Whether it's Trump who wins in November or by some miracle Biden, the real people who lose on election day are us, the general public. That's all I have to say. Bye-bye.